Welcome to the Mental Craftsman, where we build stronger minds and share the lessons we've learned through what we've lived.
Good morning, everybody. Today's March 3rd. Isn't that great? March 3rd. Man, it's going to be like 80 degrees here in the DMV this Saturday. Good morning, Farm Girl. I'm glad you're here. It's just going to be a good week, and I'm looking forward to that. Did you ever think in your life that if I just had the time to do it, if I just had more time in my life, and we feel that we're doing things and sometimes time slips through our fingers? That's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm happy that you're happy to be here. And we're going to talk about when we want things to happen, and sometimes we assure ourselves this will happen, eventually I'll get to it. Eventually, I'll have the time to do this. Today, we're going to talk about time, energy, and attention, and taking back your life so we intentionally have the right amount of time to do things, and where we're going to prioritize our time. You're more in control of your schedule than you think you are, and when it comes to time. Let's talk about what we're going to be talking about today. So, time and energy and attention. And time is when you're doing things. I want you to listen to this part here. Good morning, Alicia. Just real carefully listening to just the beginning here of, so we can get to some fundamental steps that we can take in order to manage our time. So it's not just about what we should do, but what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And that's what time management's about, not what you should do. We know our responsibilities. You're responsible. You pay your bills. You've brought things together, even though sometimes it felt that other things were pulling it apart, but you still managed to bring it together and found the time to do it. And then it ate your energy, and now you're not developing some of the intentions that you want to happen for your life. So time, energy, and attention is huge stuff. And to be aware of it, to have it right up at the top of our list in life, time, energy, and attention. Now, I'm going to share a quick story besides doing these, because everybody knows I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist. I run a service business, and it builds out offices and stuff like that. So time and attention and detail and what we're going to do is important for me within my business, and then also within my personal life. And because it's important in my personal life, we had to get rid of sometimes some distractions that we have. We get distracted a lot. And these distractions are happening because we allow them to be there. We allow them to be there. That's right. So we need to block out time to stay intentional on our time. So let's get right into the nitty gritty of week 7 of 12. Can you believe that? We're on our last 6 weeks of living an intentional life. And this is good stuff. And it's going to be good for you today. So, time, energy, and attention, and taking back control of your life. It's where your calendar is going to match your priorities. Have you ever heard this? Show me your calendar and I'll tell you your life. What's on your calendar? Who always says, oh, I wish I had more time. I finish my day exhausted. And a lot of it has to, when we're breaking it down, what we're doing with our time is, we're not short on it, first of all. We're not short on time. We just let a lot of it slip through our fingers. And it's not intentional. That's the thing. Because we're by default letting things happen. These are my priorities. This is what I got to do today. This is what pays my bills. Well, what are you doing to live your life? So our time, energy, and attention. So we've got our time. That is when you're doing things, right? That's what time is. In time, you're doing something, right? That's when you are doing things. Now, here's what's important. With time and to do things, it takes energy. And how do you feel when you do those things? How are you feeling with your energy when you're doing those things? And then most of all, where's your attention? Are you thinking about your problems? What are you focused on in the moment when you're using time and energy? Where are you focused? Because where you're focused is where you belong. The choices show up in your calendar, whether you mean them or not. Can you believe that? Whether you mean it or not. So when we are talking about our calendar and our choices and what's happening in our day, we are doing things that are going to autopilot show up because they always do. This is what you're always supposed to be doing. And that's where some energy drainage comes from. So we're going to give a core message to you today to describe in an easy way of how to prioritize our time, how to take control and management of our life and of our time. So, and that's giving time unto us, unto our family. You know, if one of your priorities are health and you have no health plan, then that's a wish. If one of your priorities are your relationship, but you never really put effort into your relationship, once again, that's a wish. And you can't say, I work so hard so I can provide for my family. Providing time for your family means providing ample time where they can enjoy you as a person. Saying that, hey, I work, I provide, I pay bills. You know, man's always done that. Man's always provided, and women. Men and women have always provided to families, especially mothers. Mothers give more probably than men do in today's world because they have a sense of parenthood and of a sense of giving and a sense of love. And it's love that they give. And they will give love whether it drains them or not. And anyone that has a mom knows that. So let's look at some cool stuff here. Let's look at what's going on. Let's just start with going over here for a second before we start our day. And the time, right? We're not short on time, but we're short on clarity, intention, and boundaries. That's what you're short on. There's always time to do what you want to do. But to sort this time out, we need to have clarity, right, of what we're going to do with that time and our energy. We need to have intentions and then boundaries. And we talk about boundaries, but when it comes to time, what kind of boundaries are there when I want some personal time? Well, one's going to be, let me find it. I don't think it's even here. One of them is going to be this, and that's shutting it off. Right now, this should be shut off. You're going to take the time to shut off any distractions that you're going to have. Let's just shut off right now because I'm taking the next hour to focus on time management, to share with you some things that work for me. And there's science behind this too. I just don't come up with a bunch of cockadoodle bullshit and shove it down people's throat once a month. What I'm doing is I use these techniques in my own life and I see results from it in my own life. And I'm not perfect. I'll never have a perfect life. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. But what I do have is I have real life experience. I turned 56 this week. 56 years of living, and I've never been happier. My joints hurt more, but I've never been happier in my life. And part of it is when we're talking about our time, right? We're looking at, first of all, don't blame it on yourself. And this is the thing with our intentions, or when we have self-thought. When we get out of where we feel comfortable, this is when self-doubt comes in. Because we are so used to things being the way they are. If there's even a little bit of change, self-doubt comes in. Well, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. You've never done that before. You can't shut your phone off on Friday night. What are you doing going out for a walk for 3 hours, not letting anybody know where you are? There's these self-talk that somehow gets us out of trying new things. We like to be comfortable. But let's think about some of our priorities and where they are, right? Let's just get into it. And we're going to do some framework. We're going to do some exercises today on some important things for one family. If family's a priority of yours and you're going to schedule time for your family, would that be anything every Sunday night? In my family, we all get together. That's one thing that we do every Sunday night. And everybody shows up, right? Health. What are we doing for our health? Are we walking? Are we taking time a day for our health? But most importantly, in our growth and our contribution toward the things that we believe, our family health and our growth and our contribution. And the contribution is more in play, I would think that anybody who watches this today is definitely taking a contribution toward getting better, managing their time better, and managing what's important when it comes to time, especially as we age, because a lot of our needs are going to change a little bit as we age. There's going to be new priorities. There's going to be doctor's appointments. There's going to be maybe having to be more frugal, not having the ability to make as much money. So we save and we plan today for all of these things with clarity of how I'm going to pay for things in my life, how I'm going to take care of things in furniture. And this isn't to scare you, but it's to make you aware, to get you out of the fact that you indeed have every control that you could think of over your life when it comes to time. So we have time. We're not short on time, but we need clarity, intention, and boundaries. And this is what today's exercise is going to get into, the clarity, and it's going to get into the attention, and it's going to get into the boundaries that we feel are necessary for us to pay attention to family, health, growth, and contribution. And you can control more of your day than you think. You can control way more of your day than you think you can. And I'm going to tell you how. And it's a promise that we make to ourselves. And the promise that we make to ourselves is that we're going to start taking control of our day, and that your life is built out of days. It's built out of days in the way that we spend these days, intentionally or not intentionally, and it's constantly molding us, or it's keeping us in our same place and all the time with the same thoughts. And remember, when we try something new, which things new, especially journaling, always works, especially when you don't want to journal, especially when you want to do a 10-day run on one thing you can be grateful for a day. Today, a new thing to be grateful for is just that you had sleep, you had food, you had movement, and you're paying attention to your mental space that you have. This is some mental space that we just kind of randomly let flow through. So today I'm going to show you how to take control of your time, your energy, your attention, so your calendar finally reflects what matters to you. And we're going to start with knowing about the time, right? So that's when we're doing things. That's what we're banging on today, is the time. Our energy, how we feel about what we're doing during that time, and the attention of where we're focusing. If you're focusing on something else when you're doing something, then you're probably doing something that's a default that just may not be a priority to you. And then work separation from time separation, from family to alone time, to spending time with our pets, or spending time what matters in the sense of properties we have to take care of, other work that we do, people that we see, and what our contribution is to others. Now, with boundaries and with clarity, when we're doing contributions, we want to do contributions that give us good energy, right? So when we're doing these things with time, as I did that, I brought some food to a shelter. The one that provided the small benefit to raise some money for something that I believe in, because it makes me feel good, because I know for a fact that that goes directly to the people that should be the recipients of it, right? So when you're actually focused in the moment, we obsess over time management, but without managing energy and attention, time will slip through your fingers. Where'd my life go? What happened to it? How in the hell am I 55 years old and I feel I haven't done anything? And sometimes you could be 25, 30. And if you're in your 20s and you're in your 30s, you don't realize how time is just vapor, because you can see it, but it just disappears like vapor, like the morning fog. You know, if your life was morning fog, it's gone by noon. And some people will tell you that's how they feel they live their life. It was just a fog, a dense stain in the sky that eventually went away. And with the sun pounding on it, that's time. And so we can start with just doing a quick poll this morning. And who here ever said, I just need more time? I just need more time. And there's reasons we say that. It could be to pay a bill. It could be to fix something. It could be to finish a puzzle. It could be to work on a hobby. That's my favorite quote in the Bible. We're just a mist and it will vanish. Actually, that is out of the Bible, isn't it? Billy Graham used to say that a lot. If you ever watched him, great guy to listen to. So, who's finished a day exhausted with the thought that, what did I even do today? You're exhausted, but what did I even do today? What even made me feel so worn out today? Why am I just beat down, and why am I tired? And this here has to do with when you're doing something good with time and those things, with the energy and your focus on it, and it has your attention, this here is going to lift your endorphins. It's going to make you feel good about what you're doing. So, like I said, we have more time than we can even imagine. We have all in our life stated different priorities that we have. Family, health, growth, contribution, but then our real priorities are what actually gets on our calendar, our real priorities. And sometimes our real priorities are defaults and we don't even freaking realize it. Can you believe that? I got to get this work done this Saturday, so I'm going to be on my laptop, we may tell ourselves. I just need to run by work really quick because somebody needs a little bit of help of mine, thinking that this is what I have to do, that that's a priority for your life. If you say that your health's important, but there's no sleep, and there's no movement, and there's no meals planned, then your health is not a priority. It's just a wish. If you say that your relationship is important, but your calendar is a wall of meetings and solo work, and relationships are optional and not essential, then once again, yes, we're putting out fires that you didn't plan. Perfect. Are optional, then once again, then the relationships are important. And then you can go back to the default that we tell ourselves. Hey, look, I work and get my paycheck every week to pay the bills and put the shelter, remember, over you. Put shoes on your feet to take care of you. That's what I'm doing. But do you ever think that that person would want maybe some more love and some of your time? And told and trained how you did this and how to do a good divide between life and life. How many lives do we have? We got our work life, we got our social life, we got our relationship life, we got a church life, we got a spiritual life. How do we combine these into priorities? So there's 3 levers: time, energy, and attention. These are things that we can pull. These are these 3 levers in front of us when we're doing our calendar. Time, cha-ching. We all want more of that. Energy, where's it come from? By spending time on things that give us fulfillment, right? That's where we're going to get some of our energy. And also pulling those levers purposely to design your day and to design your life to carry you into next month, into next week, into tomorrow. Even starting right now into later today of where your priority will be. And your priority might be a nap. It might be something you have in the crock pot. Something that's healthy, maybe a farm or a fair that you want to go to as things get nicer. We have springtime markets. So time is finite. It's 24 hours and everybody gets that. Everybody. You can't say, I don't have time. I got as much time as you do. You have as much time as everybody else does, right? So I'm going to put together what I call the big 3 for the day. The big 3. That's it. That's how simple it is. Remember, last week we were talking about one thing to be grateful of. Well, what about 3 big things that we're going to make sure is in our schedule? And hey, man, if you don't think you have your time, you do. So you can even take a Google Calendar, anything you want, and you can start blocking out in color things that are of your big 3. And let's talk about at the start of the day or the night before, pick one important task for your work. It's one thing for your work. For me today, and I'm going to share mine today with you. One important task for me at work is to go to every job we have going on in Washington, D.C. today, to see where we are, when they're going to be due, what people need, hang out. And I would like to have enough time at each job to talk to everybody and look at it and write a list and then take that list to make tomorrow's schedule and give data to the people that we're working for, right? And second on our big 3 is one important task. So we already had our work. That's one. Our next one is one important task today for your health. For your health. And this is, we all fail. This is where I fail. It could be like, I don't want to smoke today. I'm going to eat something good for lunch. I'm going to go for an extra walk today. Unfortunately, I'll tell you, I hurt my knee really bad. I got a cortisone shot the other day, so I'm kind of walking around with a cane. So one of the things that I'm going to have to do is spend a little time walking slowly, but I can still eat healthy. And these are things that we deal with. Sometimes we get interrupted with things that physically keep us from doing stuff. So the next on our big three that we're talking about is your relationship or your personal life. So we got work, we have health, and then we have to focus on what we do. Yes, we can. And then we have our personal life. Blocking time for those on your calendar. If everything's important to you, then nothing at all is. And if we go into our day where you want to do everything, you're not going to be able to do everything. When you think everything in your life's important, every single little nitty gritty thing's important, then actually nothing is. This is where focus comes in. This is where attention. So we got three things today. We have work, we have health, and we have our personal life. And our personal life would include solo time, family time, things that we want to read, things that we want to indulge in, things that is just taking time for me, and how we block that out, right? So we're going to put focus work, deep task, or personal priorities as actual calendar blocks. And we're going to treat them like a meeting with yourself. Treating them like a meeting with yourself. So when I have Tuesdays and Thursdays blocked out from 5 in the morning, good morning, Brian. When I have from 5 in the morning till 7 in the morning this morning, till probably 7:30, it's blocked out. Phones are off, no email coming in. I've already talked to people that I work with. So you can benefit and I can benefit from what I believe is important. To me, this is a priority. All 12 of these weeks, it's a priority. And it's a priority, not only that, to me, but it's a priority to me to finish it for you. And that's why I'm here. And I ask of nothing when I do that, other than, try it out, give it a shot. So let's talk about time blocking, but let's keep it really simple, okay? Because if you're not time blocking time for yourself, your personal life, your family, your friends, your pets and things, then we're not focusing on what is important to us. So your energy is always going to work with your natural rhythm in life. You have a natural rhythm. And so we're talking about time. Let's just go right down here. Do you see this? Energy. It's a natural rhythm. It's already in your life. And this energy that you were born with excites you. When you're a little kid, you're sledding down a hill. When you're in junior high, you're at the game room or you're riding a bike. When you're in high school, you're at a game, you're feeling good. Or you're at a sleepover, you're having fun. When you're in college, you were starting to travel, you started to drive. These things made us feel adventurous. They made us feel like we were living life, whether we went to a park, an amusement park or things. These are rhythms and natural rhythms in our life. And some of them are hobbies that we do. It could be building a model. It could be making things for our pet. It could be crocheting. These are natural rhythmic rhythms that are already in you that help you identify where you belong and where your energy should be focused on. So when you're living a little bit of life, like, man, that felt really good. Walking to the Barnes and Noble 2 miles away, sitting there and reading for free, having a cup of coffee, just sitting there relaxing with your fucking phone left at home. Try it. It's not how many hours you have, it's what kind of energy you bring into the hours. So when we're talking about the energy, it's just like, man, I should do that all day. I should just start reliving my life and open my old treasure chest of when I was young of what I did. Moments at a time, you can. Moments at a time, you can start blocking it. Identify where you're falling into a default. This is what I always did. If you always come home, open your laptop, check your email, scroll on your phone and this and that, what are you getting out of that? And another thing, when we're talking about energy and working with your natural rhythm, remember, if it's not on your calendar, it's just a wish. And we talk about that. Yes, start reliving your life. You absolutely can. And the key idea to that is to figure out, are you a morning person? Are you a night owl? Are you sleeping good? What part of your day is exciting that you have more time? Is it right off the bat in the morning? Is it seeing some still waters before the wind wakes up and starts giving a ripple effect? You know, we have a lot of that in our life emotionally, where when we're away from things, we don't have other people's emotions and other people's things directing and guiding us and pushing us toward their problems. And this here is where we start to lose some of the energy. And because we start giving attention to other people's problems. And that's where we're always talking about it here in this live. That's where we need to have, think about our contribution and have the boundaries right here. Have some boundaries in your life, man. Get those boundaries. Time we're not short on, but we're short on the clarity, the intention, and the boundaries. That's what you're short on. But I don't have enough time. What you're really saying is I don't have enough clarity to manage my time. And it's okay. It's not a problem, because life happens, and that's where the default of life comes in. That's where we rely on autopilot. Then when we try to step out of it, then we beat ourselves up. Do I belong here? Is this right? Am I okay? Because we love the same everything. I mean, if there's anything that we like in our life, is the flavor of our comfort, is the flavor of not stepping out and conquering time to do things that give us energy. I can't do that anymore because I'm 55. I can't do that anymore because I don't like that group. You've got to live a life that gives you some vitality, some comfort, and you have to fit it like a glove. Right? And if it's not on your calendar, it's not a wish. So if you don't have the big three, the work, the health, the personal time, every day blocked into a calendar, Google Calendar or something, and I can show you some in my office. There's calendars, and Brian could tell you, on every damn wall that has to do with parts of my life, parts of our business, what's going on. Everything's construed down into a way where we follow it. I'm not living by a book, but I'm living a life that I'm following, and some of these are things I would like to do. But most people schedule their most important work when they're most tired, and they give their best energy to emails, meetings, and scrolling. Can you believe that shit? Email, meetings, and scrolling, and they make their plans when they're tired. What I feel like doing. I guess I'm going to call a meeting for everybody. Guess I'm going to need a little more coffee in my life to live this life of no time. Oh my God, if I only had time. If I only had time, I would have energy. And if I had energy, I could do what I wanted. See, this is a cycle that we have. So identify your peak energy time. Hear that? Identify your peak energy time. Think of it. Are you a night owl? Are you a morning person? What part of the day you have the energy? And now start writing your calendar out. And people by default write their calendar. I'm tired. What do I have energy left to do? Man, start writing what you want to do when you have the energy, when you wake up in the morning, when you are spending time happy with energy. Identify your peak energy time. And peak energy time typically for people is a 2 to 4 hour window. And man, mine is probably 6:15 in the morning till about 9:30 to 10. I have a peak there. Man, my motor is running, and I can make plans of what I want to do. This weekend, tomorrow, this afternoon, how I'm going to make it happen. And if I want excitement time for myself and shut off my phone, believe it or not, you can ask anyone, I just disappear. Actually, and my wife's good at that too. God bless her. She knows how to take care of herself. We actually call her Houdini. because she is going to go do what she wants, and she has that right, as we all do, right? We're wanting to live a good life. So schedule your most important and your creative sense and your journaling during this high energy time that you have. If you all of a sudden wake up for 1 hour before you go to bed, you want to write in there about what you want tomorrow, the big three: my health, my priorities, my personal life. And the personal life, there's a lot of matter there. It can be just a lot of different things. So when we're talking about your physical, put low task energies like email, administrative, and routine during low energy times. See, what I'm trying to rearrange your life a little bit here. So here's what I want you to do. Identify peak energy times in your life, and it's 2 to 4 hour window. And that's when I want you to schedule your most creative work and thinking there. And then when you have low energy, because these are low energy tasks, your email, your admin work, your routine, those are things you want to do in low energy time because it's a fucking routine and you're already going to know how to do it. So you want to use your high energy to live your best life. High energy, create some high energy time. Block it out on your schedule. It's a meeting with you. It could be with a friend. It could be somebody in a relationship, but it's a meeting with you. You have to show up, right? So physical energy is your sleep, your food, and your movement. Physical energy, sleep, food, and movement. That's where you're going to get physical energy from. Sleeping, resting, moving, being active, and getting sleep, getting good sleep. Good sleep is important. Good sleep, it matters. Extra naps, they matter. Having good sleep in your life. So blocking out time to sleep. You don't have to wake up early every day. Days you can sleep in, sleep in. Days you can go to bed early, go to bed, shut off your TV, and go to bed. Mental energy, complexity, problem solving. Mental energy, that's a type of benefit that we're going to get when we start sleeping, eating good, moving actively. We're going to get some mental energy, and we're going to be able to deal with complex problems, solving things. Mostly emotional energy. This is a type of energy that's emotional, that has to do with people, conflicts, support, emotional energy. So time, energy, and attention. And you see the different types of energy there is? There's physical, mental, emotional energy. And sometimes when we don't have boundaries, we're getting all three of them whipped by other people's problems, taking away our time, putting us on the default because we're people pleasers. We don't want people to have the problems that we do, but it is their problems, right? So you want to protect your sleep like an important meeting. So you probably might want to keep your phone off. Sleep is a scheduled time, and it's important. Going somewhere, sleeping somewhere where you feel comfortable and you feel safe. Short movement breaks instead of endless sitting. So if you find yourself that you work at an office, a desk, and you're sitting there 3 to 4 hours a day, get up every 10, 15 minutes, move around. Just go outside, go look out a window. Take a moment away from that because you can still manage your time at work. And the short movement breaks, instead of sitting down all the time, is actually giving you the movement. It's giving you physical movement to get up and get down. People that smoke at work get the most because they go outside to have a cigarette. And not stacking heavily emotional conversations back to back. I kind of wrote that in there because you don't want to be too emotional about everything. And sometimes, yes, that's true, Alicia, right here. Other people, man, and I'll tell you what, other people will hijack your best energy times if you allow, and they notice that. And they're going to. But one other thing is the best attention, and we were just talking about energy, and let's go to attention. And it falls right here. Other people are going to hijack your best energy if you allow them. Now, this is where focus and attention comes in, because the key idea is distractions are the default in our life. Think of that. Distractions are the default. I can't do this myself because I got to do this. Did you hear that? Distractions are the default. Let me tell you how to fix this shit. Okay? You don't just manage your time, you manage the battery you're bringing to the time. So when you're doing something with your battery, with your bandwidth. And this is a line that you can use. You don't just manage your time, you manage the battery you're bringing to the time. So guarding your focus, distractions are the default. Focus is a choice that you have to defend. I had to defend my focus. I am off of email all week, this week. I am on vacation this week. My door is closed this afternoon. Don't come in. Do you have that place at your house where everybody knows not to bother you there? Do you have a place that you can go at your office that's quiet? Do you have your own office? Do people just roll up on you? Do people just steal your time? You have to defend. And I mean, when you had to guard your focus, man, focus is a choice. And I'll tell you, the best choice when it comes to focus is defending it. Defending it with all your might. All of your might. So we lose hours not because we're lazy, but it's because our attention is constantly hijacked by notifications, messages, but most of all, our time and energy are hijacked by our habits of what are we doing. These are habits that we have, and some of them are intentionally screwing up our lives, and we don't even know it, but we're intentionally doing it, and it unintentionally has this effect on us, these habits. I want you to pay attention this week to your time calendar, where it's at. How are you hijacking yourself through some habits? Who's stealing away your focus and your time from being yourself? Who's giving you interruption, and what habits do you have that are taking away from your time, and what's draining your battery, right? So when we focus back to a single task and we want to have focus on that task, we have to do it by no social media, no phone, no tab surfing, and control our inputs. That's right. It's like we're plugging ourselves into everything. Oh, the news is on. Oh, we're at war. Oh, something happened in my neighborhood. Man, it's going to snow. It's going to that. We're just doing all this. Don't misconstrue life. Life's about you, not about the news, not about what's happening. And all news is bad, and all news is just ratings. So we lose hours not because we're lazy, but our attention is constantly hijacked by notifications, messages, and our habits. Attention's the doorway through which your life enters. That's what attention is. Attention and yourself and getting out of default and focusing is a doorway. It's in your head. And you can enter it. You can enter it with your life and give it and protect it. And you can defend it. To live a life that you were made by our maker to live out of love. Because we're not some casual, meaningless part of evolution. We were created by a thought of love. I have all of this. I'd like to share it. They want to share it with you. So what you give your attention to is what you're giving your life to. So whatever gets your attention gets your life at that moment. It just doesn't get your life. It gets your time. It gets your energy. All of that. So attention to focus right in through here. This is the doorway to your life. This is the doorway to your future. And to have a good future isn't financial. To have a good future isn't the house you live in. To have a financial isn't to have the best friends you've ever seen or the best fucking pair of shoes that would ever fit you. It's not a shoe that fits on Cinderella. What it is, it's an awareness that you can control more of your day than you think. That's what it is. That's what it is right there. That is life. When you realize I can control more of this day than I even think I can. I can walk out of this room at any time. Yes, you can. You can walk out of a life you don't like at any time. Designing your intentional day is a practical way to realize that when you design today, To have those three bigs in there. What you got to do for work, what you got to do for your health, what you got to do for personal relationships are all your choice. And you defend the energy bleeders that are just going to pop in, walk right behind your back, and look at your screen. What are you doing? Can you do that for me? Protect it, defend it. With clarity, with ease. And slowly, do you know anybody? You might have been raised by one. For me, it was my dad. I knew all of his answers before I was 8. What he'll tolerate, what he won't. He just had boundaries. Boundaries are kind because you need to be the one person at work. You're busy with your own tasks and you shine at your own work. So clear your desk, clear your digital desktop, headphones, music, or a closed door if possible. Turn off any type of notification, whether it's digital or not in your life, and start focusing. And the one focus at a time. So we're going to turn off non-essential notifications in your life. What are some non-essential notifications you feel are in your life? Some things that you tell yourself, like, oh, I got to do that. Oh, I got to do that. What are some of them? Write some of that down. What could life be a little bit easier without? On time and management, are you getting the starting to realize that maybe you have more control over your time than you thought you did? Can you see some of the distractions you might have? Did you ever think that when do I have my most energy? When do I have my most thoughts? What doorway in my mind is the safest one? Because when you knock on a doorway of attention or something that you want, how do I eventually become the real me? What's held me back from pursuing things that I'm afraid of? Well, it's self-talk. It's some of our habitual habits. Like, you can't do that. You can't go there. I can't be a commercial general contractor. No one's going to hire me. I thought that. So this is where we tie everything together. And we're going to talk about a little template that we're going to put things together. So this is just something that you can rewatch on Linktree, or you can just write it down as we go. It's a little template that I kind of spotted out together, a couple of things where how I start, which doesn't mean that's how you can start, but it can. Maybe we're just alike, which I think a lot of us humans are, right? So before the day starts, for me, it's in the morning. I'm going to review my calendar and I'm going to choose the big 3 for the block of time. The big 3 for the block of time. What are the big 3? It's the things that we align with our energy. We're going to put our most important task into our peak energy window. That means this morning, what I have to do, that's the most important, because mine's morning. The most important things that I have to do, not check my email, not return a phone call, not talk to frickin' some salesman who's knocking on the door or wants me to get back to him, or some bank person with a stupid question, or some boring accountant. I'm going to put my important tasks into my peak energy window, which means my peak energy window is 6:30 to 10 every morning. No cockadoodle bullshit during that time. That's when I get shit done. And that's when I know I can do anything I want after 10, 11. I may not come back to the office. I may go out to Maryland. I may just go do anything I feel like. I might even take a nap and watch Andy Griffith. So you're going to put your most important task into, this is step 1, into your peak time. Your most important task. Don't give that shit to work or other people's problems. And don't let them default you in that. Don't tell anybody what your peak time is. They'll be calling you right away. Hey, Brian, you on the phone? Hey, I need you to come over here. I got a flat tire. Anything like that. We do want to be kind, though, to ourselves first, right? So now align it with your energy. And we're aligning it with our energy, right? Because we're putting it into the peak window of our day. And we're going to move the shallow work and the lower energy shit to when we don't have energy. But we still wanted to move. It was specific. I love Andy Griffith. We still want to move, right? So our low energy time, where we have low energy, let's put some task in. Shopping, because you're going to move around, right? Some shopping, visiting somebody, doing just some other things, right? So this is where we're going to put during the big 3 block, no notifications, no multitasking. And that's during the big 3, right? The big 3. We don't want to get caught up into other people's emergencies. And somehow we all end up sometimes people pleasers. We're the first one they call. People are you're not going to be a person unless the wind's going to blow a couple leaves off your branches, man. So let people live. Let them live their life. So we're aligning our energy and we're taking our shallow work to the lower energy times. When I got to do my email, when I got to do my shopping, when I want to do my laundry. Who the hell does laundry during high peak times? Nobody. So now protect your attention. So during your big 3 blocks, no notifications, no multitasking. Use a timer if it helps. Use a timer. I need 1 hour to do my journaling. If you need a timer, it depends on what kind of journaling you're doing, right? And then at the end of that day, check in with yourself. Did my calendar reflect my real priorities? If not, adjust tomorrow's calendar. So our big 3 today, starting today, when's your most peak time? It can start tomorrow if it's already passed. That's when you're doing what's important to you. What other things do you have in your life that you really don't want to do, but you got to do? Well, then stay healthy by moving around, whether it's grocery, cleaning your house, and doing that. Do that during low peak times, and it starts changing your habits. You'll notice that there's a change into it. You'll look forward to having a schedule. There's nothing exhilarating like a really good schedule. And sometimes the best plan it has when it comes to your time is no plan. Having no plan. How do you like that one? So if you can change one day, you can change the pattern of all your days. And if you change the pattern of all your days, then guess what? You're now changing the direction of your life. The life that I don't say you should live, but the life that you want to live. The life you want to live. That's how you're changing it. One day at a time, the life you want to live. Everybody like, man, I would just wish I was like that one person. If there's that one person you know, interview them. How do you relax? You're going to realize that, well, I don't relax like you think I do. And they're going to tell you how they did it. There's nothing wrong with interviewing, asking people. You know, if you're changing the pattern of your days, now the direction of your life, you're walking in through that attention door, you're paying attention to your detail. Can you believe that shit? Think of reframing your life and now pay attention to the details in your life, the little details. When is your peak time? What excites you? Did you forget how fun life was and now it's one big bag of serious shit? Wow. Bring back the big picture into your life. Your future is not a mystery. This is the little bit of something that I pulled out of a good book that I read. It's hidden in your calendar. Yeah, that's right. So your life's not a mystery. It's hidden in your calendar. And I want you to think that one workout is a workout, right? That 3 workouts a week for a year is a different body. What do you think of that? One deep conversation is a nice moment. But a weekly quality time for years is a strong relationship. One focused hour on a skill is progress, but an hour a day for a year is expertise. And these are the things that you want to think as you go forward. Can you believe that? That last one? 1 hour on a skill. It's just progress. But an hour a day for 1 year, expertise, perfection. See how little bit of time we had to put in to evolve into our real selves, to create and pull out the mystery of who the fuck we are, where we're from. So small repeated uses of your time, your energy, and attention are what build your identity. And most of all, I think that they would build your identity and they would also build results, right? Would you add that after that? that if we started to do little things that benefit us, not only will change our identity, but wouldn't we get results out of that? And that's what's changing our identity, little results. 3 minutes a day of journaling would make you a writer in a year. 2 minutes a day of prayer would give you more spirituality and empathy. That's what we miss. That's what's going on in our country right now. People are afraid of other people's perspectives. Politics are bad. News is bad. Things are bad. I'm not a political show, but I can tell you when there's differences with people in your life, good people are going to accept perspectives and meet somewhere in the middle. Have empathy. Have empathy. You don't have to help everybody, but have empathy that, hey, I can't help you right now. I'm dealing with my own problems. I'm sorry that's happening to you right now. And there's good ways to say no. Circle one area that's underrepresented in your calendar. I want you to think of your calendar and what's unrepresented. Remember talking about our youth this morning? Right when this started, we were talking about fun, sled riding when we were kids, what we did in first grade, second grade, class projects, little Valentine Day card thing that you hope people would put stuff in your box in fifth grade, and all these little planned moments. Those were planned moments for our education, for us to learn and indulge. And when we were children and we had teachers, there was planned moments in our life. Now you're in charge. You are your teacher, and you are in charge of planning those exciting moments in your life. And you can do it by taking control of your calendar, taking control of your life, smiling at yourself in the mirror, and laughing about the time that's wasted, because you can't cry over spilt milk. And sometime, yes, color coding, man, is a good one. Blue, work-related, yellow, fun, etc. I love it. I love it. This is good stuff. And circle on there. So scheduling one concrete block in the next 48 hours is what I would like you all to do. Hey, man, I'm not in charge of your life, but I would like you, if you believe in yourself, schedule one concrete block in the next 48 hours that reflects a priority that you circled that you don't think is enough time. And remember, a moment ago, I said was to circle one area that's underrepresented on your calendar. Think of that one thing in your life that's just unrepresented, to where if I looked at it, it's like, wait a minute. What do you mean that's what you're all about? There's no time toward that. I want you in the next 48 hours to block it out and reflect that priority. Could it be a 30-minute walk? Could it be a 1 hour, no phone or family? Could it be 45 minutes of learning or reading that's uninterrupted? Or could it be 1 hour of deep work block for a meaningful project that's in your life? And remember, your most important project is you. So I want to tell you that there's something that I don't know if I'm saying it right, but from one of my mentors, he told me that my time, or what, I don't know what the hell he said, something when I was younger, he said, your time is your life in disguise. Your time is your life in disguise, and what you do with it unfolds your life. So think of that. What you're doing with your time is your life in disguise. But when you manage your calendar, you're not just moving boxes around, you're shaping who you become. So I'm going to get off here, but I wanted to leave you with one little challenge, other than the one that I told you to kind of end this. And I can't wait to talk about it again this Friday. First of all, you're important, and tell yourself you are, because you matter. But for the next 7 days, don't drift into your day. Actually, how about just between now and Friday, you don't drift into your day. Design it. Pick the big three that I talked about. Protect your energy and your attention, and then notice how it feels to live a day on purpose instead of default. That's what I want for you. I want you to design one day tomorrow that you want, not what you should do. Now, if you have to go to work, then you have to go to work. But why don't you do? Thank you, Farm Girl. I want you to do that before Friday. Let me know. You send me an email, an inbox. Hey, I designed this day what you said. I don't need to know what you did. Tell me how it was. Go to that one spot. Go to the new place that you heard opened up. Design a day. Call some of the old girlfriends up. Call your grandma. Make that phone call. Remember, life's like a mist, and pretty soon it is gone. I wish everybody the best day possible. Thanks for supporting me and being here. And I don't just do this for you. It helps me out good, and it makes me have a better day. And everybody that comes in and says hi, you mean a lot to me. And hopefully, you take my advice and plan one day before Friday, and plan some next week. And just so you know, we're going to finish this out together. But as we get into, make sure we have our calendar, because you know what, week eight is our habits, systems, and routines, and we're going to make them automatic. So if you have your schedule done before we get to week 8, I'm going to show you some habits and some routines that's going to make that come true for you. And it's going to take over your life slowly. And it's going to walk you into the best places that you've ever gone. And all these doorways are in your mind. God bless you. Love yourself.